Yo, what's going on, guys? Dropping a PTR speculation video on the Abyss, the Great Axe artifact. This weapon is awesome. I had a ton of fun using it on the PTR. I had great success in every build I used it in. I'm going to go over the 3 builds that I think it will excel in when it drops in October in the expansion. First step to using this weapon correctly, though, is to understand how it works. The uptime on the Abyss perk is key. Staying under 100% mana is actually much more difficult than you think, especially if you were running 200 intelligence due to the new intelligence perk granting mana on crit, and due to regen potions granting mana as well. So mastering your mana usage will elevate your Abyss gameplay to the next level. Always maintaining that 20% damage is clutch. Very key to pumping big numbies. Another pro tip to mastering the Abyss is to like and subscribe to this channel, because I will be constantly testing and using this weapon. So to stay up to date, subscribe. That way you can see the videos when they pop out. Also, keep in mind, you can pick one perk to gem or slot on this weapon. And that perk could be a gem slot. Sorry, I misspoke earlier. It could be a gem slot, or it could be another, a Great Axe perk or another perk that's not currently on it, allowing it to be very adaptable to different builds. So keep that in mind. The 3 builds that I like using the Abyss in are the following. A light assassin build. This one's more for OPR. I actually feel like this one dominates OPR. A medium disruptor build. This one felt really good in OPR, and I really think it's going to feel good in war as well, depending on the composition of your army and where this weapon is fighting. And then a medium bruiser. This guy can go offensive or the standard, like 350 con bruiser build that's going to be pumping out. I think either way, it's going to feel really good. And once we get some more testing, we can really find out which one works best. So I'm going to go over the ability usage and playstyle for each build, some of the attribute breakdowns, just to kind of give you an idea of what I was doing and how I felt it performed on the battlefield. So in the light assassin build, I was running 350 intelligence, 220 con, and then I threw 25 focus, 25 strength, just to get a couple of those breakpoints. I paired it with the fire staff and with the VG, swapping between the two. Both felt super strong paired with the Abyss. The Ice Gauntlet felt good too, but you really have to master the mana management to make it truly effective. The problem with the Ice Gauntlet is those cooldowns are a bit longer, so it's harder to stay under 100% mana, losing out on that 20% Abyss damage. On the Great Axe, I was running the Reaper Tree, so Bloodlust. I was primarily running Reap, Charge, and Gravity Well. I did do some meme builds as well using Execute, and I was actually getting crits over 10k on light targets. Multiple 12k plus crits, actually, like within 12,000s. I don't remember any 13k crits on players, but I did have almost a 14k crit on Baron when we were fighting Baron. So it's a pretty nutty, memey build, but it was a lot of fun, but definitely a meme. On the Void Gauntlet, I was running Tether, Scream, and Orb. Now, Orb, I learned I had to use on as few targets as possible, as it does grant mana per hit. But I love the range slow that it provided. And being a lower cooldown ability, it was really useful for keeping my mana lower. Tether felt great. The slow on it, on the VG, was nutty. People could not get away from me. Although that may be changing when this drops on live. It was supposed to be a root perk when the tether broke, but that was not on the PTR like the note said. So we'll see if that's on live or not. And then Scream is pretty obvious, the root plus the anti-heal. Fire Staff, most builds will work with this. Personally, I prefer single target builds. So I went with a single target chase build. I was running Burnout, Pillar, and Fireball. You could definitely swap one of those out for a, flamethrower. I do not recommend the Incinerate, although maybe it works for you. I'm not a big fan of it since the changes to it recently. And you could also run like a Meteor Shower stat pad build with it. And when somebody comes up to you, you're low on mana, you pull out the Abyss, you beat their ass. The medium disruptor build was so fun as well. With the new medium dodge, mobility felt great, and the damage was actually clean. So I was running it as the same attribute spread as the light build, and it felt very balanced in terms of damage and survivability. primarily, I ran this build with the VG for the tether and the scream disruption. I did flop between Oblivion to have the nullifying Oblivion when I was clump fighting or near the clumps, with the diminishing orb on the Void Gauntlet for nice like range damage buff shred, and the slow. I did run the same light Great Axe build with the Reap, Charge, and Gravity Well, and it felt great. The Reaps were hitting so hard. Also, with the Reap perk buffed, the slow that you place on people was so nice to nerf like the light rolls if they try to get away from you, or just keep them next to you if they were out of stam. It felt great. The disruption and damage felt very effective. I could definitely see this being ran on war disruptor teams. The medium bruiser, I will admit I need more testing with, if I'm being honest. I did test it with a 350 intelligence maelstrom build, and I was deleting clumps. But most of the clumps were very tanky. There were a lot of flail players in the OPR or in the PTR OPRs, so there wasn't a lot of damage back to me. So it was hard to really just or test the survivability of the build with only 220 con. So I do need more testing with that 100%. I also wanted to do more testing with this as a 350 con 250 strength build. With strength, you are going to lose some of the intelligence perks. You know, the 15% elemental damage, 15% ability damage at 350. So you are going to lose some of those, but what you gain is ease of keeping the Abyss perk active. So with the magical offhand, either a VG or an IG in this case, you have a lot easier of a time to burn those abilities that are more utility, chunk that mana down, and now your crits aren't restoring mana, so it'll be easier to maintain that 20% Abyss perk. I don't really have numbers on this yet, as the PTR ended so soon and my work schedule was slammed during the PTR. I did log many hours. I just wasn't able to log enough, although I was basically living on the PTR. I am excited for live, though, to be able to truly pump and deep dive with this weapon to get it mastered thoroughly. This thing is so fun. The amount of builds it opens up are so many. It's a blast. It's a blast. Okay, so the TLDR of this. The OPR build, in my mind, if you're playing this weapon in OPR, you're going 350 intelligence, light, Great Axe, Fire Staff. It slaps. It's insane damage and chase from a melee or range perspective, and you have 2 dashes, so you can reposition super easily, whether you're trying to get the edge to kill somebody or to survive yourself. So TLDR OPR build is 350 int, Great Axe, Fire Staff, light. War build, more testing needed to confirm this. Obviously, the wars on the PTR were kind of jokes, but possibly a 350 con, 250 strength bruiser with a magical offhand, VG or IG, or a 350 intelligence disruptor build on and around the sides of the point, most likely with a VG pairing, but I could see it paired with Fire Staff as well. I appreciate everyone watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. It truly helps out, and I am truly grateful for those already subscribed and watching. More content always to come. Thanks all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!